Rudi from Bespoke Detailing, here on behalf of BushWrapz to show you through the do's and don'ts with ceramic coatings and PPF and what you can and can't do with the both. We have got 3 bonnets here in front of us. So we have got Cape, Advanced and Pro. So the Cape film is the 1-year film, 12 months. Advanced is up to 5 years. And then we have Pro, which is the professional installation, 10-year film. Yeah, so let's get into it and give you some demonstrations of the two together and against each other. Standard cars today, generally speaking in terms of thickness, we have a paint gauge here, so it will give us the depth of the paint. What this will read for us is clear coat paint and primer all the way down to the bare panel of metal. So it will give us an average thickness throughout the panel. So we will measure generally across multiple sections of a panel. So if, say, talking a door, we'll measure each corner and then measure 2 points in the center of the door to give us an average. On average, a piece of paper is 80 microns thick, if that gives you an idea of how thick or thin things are. Standard cars today generally measure between approximately 110 microns and 90 microns. A little on the thin side. A few years back, we were looking at 160 and 180s. But nowadays, a lot of the paints are water-based, so they will paint things thinner. So how we gauge the thickness and thinness of a panel, we generally will measure the inside of a door shut and pop this little gadget in there. It'll give us the base reading for paint. So if we were cutting a car or polishing a car, how far we can cut that paint back to by methods of cutting and polishing. Then we would transfer this device then to the surface or the painted panel, the door, for example. That could read, say 160, and if the inside of the door shut has measured 90, we know we have a tolerance of about 70 microns to play with if we're having to chase out a scratch or a defect or something that's in the paint that we don't want to be there. So this tool will, like I said, will read the thickness of the paint, including the clear coat and the primer. What this will also do will give us a thickness of the PPF as well. So you'll notice down here we've got the 3 bonnets. I am going to do a demonstration between each side. So here on the Pro, for example, this side is naked, so it's just bare paint. There's no PPF on this section. Then this half here with the tape on top is Pro. So I'm going to jump down and measure here. So this one is the bare panel. So you're reading 71 microns, so just thinner than a piece of paper. And then we'll jump over here to the PPF, 244. So that's nearly 4 times thicker than the painted section. So let that sink in. So essentially the PPF is giving you 3 times thicker the protection than what the paint is on the car. So if you think you're driving through bush trails, you're heading up the beach or going through a forest, that stuff is going to be far better in terms of protection. It's got far thicker gauge to run through in terms of what you'll be down to bare paint or bare panel very, very quickly compared to with the PPF. But if we run across, so all of these bare sections measure slightly differently within a couple of microns. So we had, I think, 71 on this side, so 80. And then back over on, so this is Advanced, the 5-year film, 230, so you're still 3 times thicker. And then over on the Cape side, so 77 to 237. So still just over 3 times in terms of thickness. You can see there that the variations between the paint is very, very similar, but also the PPF, it's the same thickness all the way through. So regardless of which kit or type of film that you choose, it's going to be the same one in terms of thickness all the way across the board. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about ceramic coatings, what they can and what they can't do, the pros and cons. So ceramic coating is designed to make the surface of the car easier to clean. So it's going to create a glasser, stronger finish, easier maintenance. So cleaning, upkeep is going to be far easier. Gloss levels and clarity is going to be enhanced. They say scratching and marring and those sorts of things is reduced. Marring to an extent, yes. Scratching, not so. It is chemical resistant. It is resistant to bird poo and bat poo and those sorts of things. It will give you more time frame to get that off the paintwork before it starts to eat and etch the paint to the point where it's damaged. So in essence, a ceramic coating becomes a sacrificial layer that is on top of your paint, similar to PPF. The pros behind ceramic coating, which I just mentioned, is the maintenance aspect, the clarity and gloss, the slickness to feel, hydrophobic properties, and then the chemical resistance and bird and bat poo etchings, those sorts of things. It's amazing for the customer who wants that effortless maintenance of their vehicle, whether that's a car or four-wheel drive. Just makes that whole process a lot more straightforward, a lot quicker, and a lot more simple. The cons behind a ceramic coating is the thickness and the hardness of the coating itself. Some people may suggest or try and explain to you that it is bulletproof. It is not. Ceramic coating has its place, absolutely. It is not bulletproof paint protection. It's not going to stop scratching. It's not going to stop swirling. You will end up with marring and things like that if you don't look after the coating in its lifetime. But what it will do for you is, like I said before, is the maintenance aspect, the chemical resistance, bird poo and bat poo etchings, but it's not going to protect against things like what PPF can in terms of stone chipping, scratching, pinstriping, kid going down the side of your car with a bike and whatever and hitting it with the handle. It's not going to protect against those things, so abrasions and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop those. It is an awesome entry-level entry into protection for your vehicle. So it is going to protect. You can get a coating that will apply to multiple surfaces, or you can get a coating specific to every surface of your car. So whether that's the paintwork, plastics, glass, wheels, calipers, interior, so your leathers and fabrics and dash and those sorts of things, there is almost a coating for any surface. So going forward in terms of protection, you are covered in that respect. What I would recommend it is a great entry-level option. For the budget, it's good, depending on you, if you don't have to get a paint correction or anything beforehand. Lots of shops will offer that for you, or an enhancement process where they will clear up the paintwork of any sort of medium to light defects or scratches in there, then apply the coating, and then you're good to go. Here we have got two different ceramic coatings. So the general, normal, everyday sort of ceramic coating that detailers and some dealerships will apply is in this one. This one is a PPF or vinyl specific coating. So this coating is slightly different to this one, has a slightly shorter lifespan, but it's flexible. A standard ceramic coating will dry and bond to your car, and it will create a more rigid surface on that sort of microscopic scale. You can't see it with your eye. Whereas with this, it is flexible, allowing the film and the coating and the paint itself to sort of move over time, the same as what your film is going to do on your car. So we're going to talk about the slight differences with these and the different characteristics within them, but also when you apply them to paint and to PPF. Here we have got all of our bonnets set up again, still Pro Advanced Cape. We have cordoned these off into quarters, so you've got the line down the middle where the PPF is. We've got bare panel, PPF, PPF, the same on the other three. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to apply ceramic coating to one of these quarters. Then the other side, we're going to apply the PPF coating or vinyl coating onto the other piece of PPF. And then we're going to have two bare control sections that we can test this against. Once we apply these, we'll give them a little bit of time to cure, and then we will whip out the paint depth gauge and measure the differences between all four squares now. We will have evidence to show you which to use if you want to go down the option of ceramic and PPF, but I'm going to go over some of the do's and don'ts with ceramic coating, especially with PPF. What happens is you buy a brand new car from a dealership, you then spend whatever amount of thousands of dollars, a couple of $1,000 with the dealership getting the dealership paint protection. Sometimes that will include a ceramic coating. The difficulty with that, especially when you go down the road of applying PPF, ceramic coating's main characteristic is hydrophobic. So what hydrophobic means is the rejection of water and liquids. So when water or liquids hit the surface of the car, especially the painted panels, it rejects that water, it sheets or beads it away. The issue with PPF is a wet application, very similar to your tint. So not only does the PPF need to be wet, but so does the car itself or the panel that you're applying to. So keeping that panel wet, if you have a ceramic coating on there already, it's going to be very difficult. So we as installers and other PPF shops around Australia, we will struggle applying PPF to a ceramic coated panel because it's going to reject that water. So what will have to happen sometimes is we would have to lightly polish those sections to sort of key the surface so that it doesn't reject the waters, try and remove some of those hydrophobic properties from the paint and the coating, and then apply the film as we would. But it is going to make it difficult because what it does is, like I said, it rejects the water, it creates dry spots in underneath the PPF, so when we're squeegeeing out the film and the water underneath it, it will already be stuck, and we're then in trouble. We have to relift the film, steam it or heat it or whatever, apply more slip solutions, sometimes tack solutions in there. It's not fun. Applying PPF to a ceramic car is not fun. So if you are looking at applying PPF to your car, don't get it coated first. You can coat after. That is where a ceramic or vinyl-based coating is perfect. That will go over the surface of the coating, all of the PPF. It will apply the same characteristics that a normal ceramic will. So you will get the hydrophobic nature, which means maintenance and cleaning the car, whether that's a four-wheel drive or a car, so much easier. So dirt rejection, water rejection off the surface of the film is going to be there, just like it would on a standard ceramic coating on a car. That's what this demonstration will show to us today. And we will also throw some dirty water at these, spray some water and those sorts of things, and you'll be able to see the different levels between all corners and all quarters of these bonnets. So let's crack into it. I am going to prep these as I would if I was applying a ceramic coating. So very similar to when we apply PPF, you want to make sure that this surface that you're applying to is clean and clear. So we use an isopropyl spray, mixed down, or a panel wipe, it doesn't matter what you use. So I'll spray this down, wipe them off, and then apply the coating. So remember, one side's painted, one side's PPF'd. We're going to apply ceramic here, and then the PPF coating, and then leave these as our control sections. And we're going to do that across all three bonnets here. So the isopropyl is going to dissolve or kill anything that's on the surface. So whether that's if, for example, you have a wax or a sealant on the surface of your car, or if you've just washed it with a wash and wax, it will get rid of any of those properties, meaning that you're just working with the bare paint or the bare PPF in this case as well. So make sure we've gone over that once with a damp cloth and then once again with the dry one. So we want to remove any lint or dust or anything like that that has fallen onto the panel. There will be transfers of lint from the tape, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to start with the ceramic. So we're going to start here in these corners of all of these panels. Get this stuff out of the way. Get rid of these. So I've got my application cloth and then my buffing cloth. So how we do it is always two cloths, one cloth to wipe the excess ceramic off, and then one to buff off any residue that's left. So some ceramics will ask you to shake them first, some not. So that's that. Just give it a quick wipe off. Okay, so ceramic on the applicator. You can apply this stuff at home if you like. I would recommend that you go to a professional detailer to have a ceramic coating installed. You're just going to have a better finish. They know what they're doing. They do this stuff every day. So I'm just going to go across all three of these sections. Ceramic coating will flash. So it goes slightly hazy when it's ready to come off. So it's been on 30 seconds or so, so we'll just start getting this off. I've got to be careful that I don't wipe the ceramic into the other panels. So I've just got to be directional with it. back across with my buffing cloth. So any residue or any bits that I've left there, I can see little bits here and there. This will get rid of that. So as you can see, it's super shiny. Perfect. Alrighty, so we have applied the ceramic coating to those sections. Now we are going to go and do the PPF coating on the same set, on the other opposite corners. So same with this one, this is the vinyl ceramic or PPF ceramic. So give it a shake just to make sure everything's mixed up into there, and then apply onto the applicator. Same thing, I'll just flip these cloths over so we're not cross-contaminating ceramic with the other one. And just wipe off. So they're all on, so what we'll do, we'll leave them for maybe 30 minutes or so to just sort of harden and cure off. And then we can do some testing, and I can do the paint depth gauges across all 4 sections again and let you guys know how that goes. Here we have got the 3 panels all set up. So the coatings now are cured on these. So it's ready for our next step of testing. So what we're gonna run through is we're gonna spray water onto these, sort of imitating rain. We have got some dirty water as well, but first we're going to go and measure all these panels to show you how much or how thick these panels are now after their treatments. So I'll just recap again. So we've got the top 2 corners on each panel. They're naked, so you've got naked PPF panel, PPF panel, PPF panel, and then down on the bottom corners we have got coated PPF, coated panel, coated PPF, coated panel, coated PPF, coated panel. So just general paint ceramic coating, and then we have got the vinyl / PPF specific coating for those surfaces. So firstly, we will get the paint depth gauge up and running, and we will start with the cape. So 180, 79 there in total. So down on the bottom, so this is the ceramic coated section. So 78, so no difference in terms of thickness. So 235, 232, so very, very minimal difference. I wouldn't, down to the naked eye, you're not really going to see that or be able to comprehend that thickness. 75, 77, 231, 237, 70, 75, 255, 244. Alrighty, so in terms of thickness between ceramic and the bare paint is very minimal. To the naked eye, that is, you're not going to be able to comprehend that. So like I said before, the average thickness of a piece of paper is 80 microns. So if you think essentially these painted sections are about the thickness of a piece of paper. So that is from the metal itself, you've got your primer, your paint, and your clear. So a car will be similar to that. Cars will measure a little bit thicker, but it's the same principle. So the PPF across all of these was 3 times thicker than the paint itself. So we were measuring about 70 microns up to about 230 to 240 microns. So yeah, 3 to 4 times thicker than the paint itself. Okay, so test 2. So we've done the thickness gauge. We're now going to spray water onto these. So remember, we do have treated and untreated surfaces. So now we will see what it is like. So this is just water out of the tap. It's nothing special, so it's not going to give you any sort of hoodoo or magic tricks here. It's just, it is what it is. So we've got bare panel, ceramic. It doesn't want to stay on there, whereas on the painted panel. It's off, untreated PPF, treated PPF. So I'll just spray all of them. So if we lightly give these a shake, you'll see the water running. So on real close up, you can sort of see some of these where the water droplets are quite spaced or really close together. Across, for example, down into the coated PPF section, it almost looks uniform. So this is going to make ease of maintenance. So if you can imagine with your soapy water, you're washing the car here, even if you snow foam the car first, the snow foam or water that you spray onto the car is going to sheet off or bead away off the surface. The untreated sections, the water is going to want to cling to that surface and hold there longer. So you'll notice between the top two sections here, there's more water on these two than there is these bottom two. So this is the ceramic coated paint section. So there's less water on this bottom piece than there is the top piece, and the same on the other side. So both of these bottom sections are coated. So when we talk about ease of maintenance for PPF and also ceramic coatings on paintwork, coating your PPF is going to make the ceramic coating way easier to keep for a longer period of time, even between washes. So if you don't wash your car religiously every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, this will help you get away with that a little bit more and make that process quicker. So therefore, cleaning your car isn't going to be as big as a chore as it was before, because this will make it quicker. So an average four-wheel drive, if you're cleaning wheels and the paintwork, drying and then dressing your trims and tires and stuff, when it's coated, you don't have to apply any sealants or waxes. You can just leave it as is. It's a permanent face or fixture to the PPF or paint. So with time frames wise, if you're able to wash your car in an hour and a half, if that's what it takes you, or 60 minutes, you can cut it down in half with this on there. I would recommend getting a ceramic on top of your PPF purely for the maintenance aspect. Over time, after 2 or 3 or 4 years of your PPF, you may notice water spotting or things start to stick to it a little more. PPF is going to make that surface far smoother. So if you can think like glass, things don't stick to glass as easy. So with ceramic coating is going to help sort of create that temporary surface and make the film feel like glass. It's going to be smoother, slicker to the touch. It's going to reject water so much easier. It's going to clean so much faster. So there, see, there's still water still stuck to all these sections. Down here is virtually dry, and I've just done the same thing. So we'll do the same over this is untreated paint, and then this is ceramic paint. So you can see it's a far drier, cleaner surface. And we'll go and we'll wipe these with so this is a damp rag. We'll wipe them down. And then a dry cloth. So they've had the same amount of pressure, same amount of wipes and passes, as you can sort of see across those. The top two, they still have water in these. They're streaky. The bottom ones are less streaky. Yes, there is still some streaks there. So I'd recommend going back over with another cloth. But with these, I can still feel water on the surface. Last test, this is not an espresso. This is dirty water. So what you would drive through. If you were four-wheel driving or whatever, this is what's going to hit your car. So we're going to do this across the panels if I've made enough. So just quickly dry all these ones off. All right, so dirty water. We'll start with the Pro because this is the best application. So it'd be easier if I do it flat. So you can slightly see how it sticks to the surface. So untreated sections The water is still quite free to move. There's no rejection, is what we call it as detailers. Then the bottom section, it doesn't want to stay on the surface as much. And then the treated PPF section, you can see it's beaded up. So it's going to be, as soon as we do this, it's going to run off. So bottom section here, which is coated PPF, is cleaner than the other sections. We've done no washing or physical or mechanical washing, we call it, when you do pass over something physically. So absolute ease of cleaning. Again, it is something I would recommend. I do understand that it's an extra expense. Even applying sealants in your washing process. So if you have a spray sealant, it's perfect. So you can add that into your drying process. So for example, if I was cleaning or drying a car, at the very, very end with I use a big dry towel, I would apply some sealant into the wet side of that dry towel. So a few sprays, say if you're using a big one, say 5 or 6 sprays. And then if I was drying a door in front of me, I would then spray 1 spray onto the door, hit it with my dry towel, flip it over to the dry side, and then buff off any residues. That will give you a temporary ceramic coating feeling and process and sort of behaviors. Long term, if you want this without having to do those steps every single time you wash your car, a ceramic coating is going to cut that wash and maintenance time down drastically. With that as well, it will sheet and bead water away quicker off the car. So cleaning is going to be quicker, whereas you're going to have to do the sealant application process every time. Ease of maintenance, so also the UV. I do understand that the PPF itself rejects UV going through and wearing or damaging your paint over time. Ceramic coatings will also reject that from your PPF. The other thing that I haven't mentioned about the PPF coating, it being specifically designed for PPF or vinyl, it is a flexible coating. So if your PPF is designed that it is self-healing, it will not interrupt or affect the self-healing abilities of the film or PPF itself. There are certain brands out there that will offer different characteristics, but the coating that we've used today is flexible and will not affect any self-healing capabilities within the film. If you are interested in getting that stuff done, whether that's through a detailer or through yourself, make sure you read the characteristics and what that coating can do for you and for the film. If it doesn't affect the self-healing layer, then perfect, go ahead. I'd recommend that you would use one like that. Going slightly different off-field, the different aspects in terms of protection with the ceramic coatings, which we've covered previously in the application and both in the tests. That is down to what you want. If you want a car that is easy to maintain, then absolutely, once you've applied your PPF, apply a ceramic on top. It's going to make that maintenance aspect or cleaning that car so much easier. It's going to make it glossier as well. Then if it's just standard ceramic on the paintwork, obviously we don't want that on there before we apply PPF. It's going to make that install a lot harder. It's probably going to add a fair bit to your bill as well. In terms of the differences between the two, in my honest opinion, ceramic isn't up to the same standard as what PPF can offer. PPF is going to offer you better protection to the natural everyday environment compared to what a ceramic coating can do. A ceramic certainly has its place. It will ease the maintenance, add gloss, sheeting, bird poo droppings, all those sorts of things that will protect against that stuff and chemicals. But PPF will offer you that protection and more. Scratches, scuffing, stone chips. Ceramic coatings can't do that. You can't hide scratches or stop your paint from scratching. Regardless if you put 10 layers of ceramic coating on the paint, it's not going to stop that. PPF is designed to do that. It's absorbent. It's going to self-heal. Ceramic's not. You can get self-healing ceramic coatings, but they're just nothing like what a PPF is. It's what it's designed to do.